Right. Tough luck.
So yeah, you can sit there with a carrot stick if you want. So up until I moved across the country in 2019, I spent all of my Thanksgivings with Babs and John, my parents, and my family in New Jersey. None of them are vegan. So I would just bring a bunch of vegan dishes, and my mom and sister would adapt a couple of things to make them vegan, but it was definitely not a vegan Thanksgiving. However, I felt comfortable going in that I didn't want to miss out on the family celebration and not be with my family. Moving forward, I might have some opportunities to host my own gatherings, in which case they would definitely be completely vegan if I were hosting and they were in my home. I've been really lucky that any non-vegan friends have been very accommodating, whether we're going out or they're having me over. They've gone out of their way to make sure there's something that I can eat, which I think is really kind of them. But I also always make sure that there's either something I can eat at the restaurant that we've chosen, or I bring something anyway, just to be a good guest. But so it's a little bit of both. But I've never had a situation where someone has invited me to a gathering that involved food and just been like, oh, you're on your own.
I will often reach out to the person hosting and just say, what's on the menu? What can I bring? And obviously it'll be vegan friendly, so that way I can enjoy it. And then, anybody else who wants it can enjoy it as well. And I definitely bring enough so that if I do arrive and there's nothing there for me to eat, I'll be okay. I never want to make it obvious that my plate is lacking variety, because I don't ever want to sort of give ammo to this position that, oh, you have nothing you can eat. Whereas if I'm hosting, it's quite the opposite. As Jules is familiar, when I do host a Friendsgiving or a Thanksgiving, I make a ridiculous amount of food, obviously all vegan friendly. And it is food that, everyone will enjoy. So it sort of takes the opposite approach. I want to make sure that there's food for everyone. I just mentioned that if I was going somewhere, I would bring my own food, because if they didn't have something vegan, I would want to make sure I had something for myself to eat. But how would we feel if we were hosting and somebody said, oh, okay, well, I'll bring the turkey for myself? I have a great story about that. I got into a conversation with a friend and her husband about this exact situation. And it was really posed that if you're hosting, you should be willing to serve whatever your attendees would like, that's sort of the role you take on as a host. And I kind of pushed back and I said, everything I'm serving is food that everyone will eat. I just happen to not be serving this one dish. And I really want to highlight this and talk more about what are the reasons you're having gatherings. Is it to eat this one dish of food, a turkey, for example, or is it to be around your family and friends, share stories, laugh, enjoy the other foods, and be together? So when you do get in those situations where people kind of push back and say, well, if you're hosting, I should be able to bring what I want, I think it's a really good opportunity for a good conversation about why you don't serve certain things. And I would say to anybody who's nervous going into the holiday season, just feel confident in your position and have that conversation. And usually it's just a matter of not understanding, and then the other side will say, oh, okay, that makes sense.
For the most part, I think most people are very understanding and want to be accommodating. So if you're hosting, you want to make sure you're providing something that everyone can enjoy. For example, if someone's gluten-free or has a nut allergy, you're not going to give them peanut sauce and say, well, good luck to you. Like, this is what we wanted.
If I'm hosting, I always send the menu out ahead of time, at least a week in advance. There are no Yelp reviews for my personal kitchen. So I want to make sure people know this is the menu, this is what I'm going to cook. And so if they're looking at that list and they're thinking, oh, I can eat all of this, that's great. That would make me feel better as the host. Or if they're looking at the list and they're like, ooh, I have a really hard time eating, like you said, maybe they have a gluten issue. Let me know, because I'm going to edit it to make sure you can still enjoy your time. I want to make sure everyone gets fed.